and became a ultra-Orthodox Jew. Anyway, we're all there waiting for the palliative physician, my sister and her husband, my mother, myself, and my wife Kyoko, and my brother in the black suit and hat and beard, and, his wife with the wig, and he's very serious, and we're all wondering if he's gonna, go too far, make some kind of Hebrew scene, start davening, I don't know. Anyway, then down the hall, we see a guy looks Italian with shoulder-length black hair, very handsome, jeans and sandals, looking around, sees us, walks over.
Hey, guys. Oh, there's a lot of you guys. Okay, let's go to the conference room.
We do. We're keeping an eye on my brother, walking very seriously, like, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? We get there, we sit down.
Okay, guys, so first I'd like to say, clearly, your father, your husband, Jack, has a lot of love.
And I'm thinking, I don't like this guy.
So, as you know, your dad has Lewy body dementia, which has Parkinsonian symptoms, like his body contracting and a deterioration of his musculature, which has led him now to have trouble swallowing. That's why he gets pneumonia. Food gets into his lungs, collects bacteria. But this meeting is one question, one choice. Either we insert a feeding tube into your father's abdomen, or we don't.
My brother shifts in his chair.
And even with the feeding tube, your dad still can get pneumonia. In addition, I really think we should think about your dad's quality of life.
Now my brother is glaring at the doctor. My sister is glaring at my brother, and my mother is smiling at the doctor because I think she thinks he's very handsome.
I like your shirt.
Thank you. I have to add that the feeding tube is very, very, very expensive.
There's a pause. My brother stands up, and we're like, okay, here it comes. Here it comes. He looks at the doctor and says, Doctor, I just want to ask you one thing. So if you don't put the feeding tube into my father, are you just going to starve him? I go to my father's room. Now he's frozen. Eyes in a fog. Can't eat, can't talk, can't walk. His mouth is wide open. I whisper in his ear, Dad, we're all okay. We're all fine. If you want to go, we can go. But if you want to hang around a couple more months, Dad, I haven't told anyone this yet, but it's finally happened. Kyoko's pregnant. I'm going to be a father. And Dad, it's a boy. So he didn't wake up, his eyes didn't get all clear, but he did. He did turn his head, and he looked at me. There were only two things my father ever told me about his father. One was the story of letting him keep the dog, Sally. The other was a regret. I found out recently that my father's father was a longshoreman in Staten Island. A crate fell on him. He got hurt, couldn't support his family, had a mental breakdown, and was put into a state mental hospital. And at the time, these were gigantic warehouses where low income mentally ill were left to rot. The last time my dad saw his dad was in one of these places. He said he never wanted to go, he always wanted to play stickball. One day his mother just drags him there and the place smells like vomit and as soon as they get there, they see some guy just like scratching himself so fast and hard. His arms have, blood and scabs. And then they stop because they realize that this guy is his father. His father doesn't even acknowledge his mother, but when his father sees him, something happens. He goes to embrace him. My dad still remembers how he smelled. And then his father runs to another part of the room, reaches down into a box, takes something out, runs back to my dad, and holds up a penny, offering it to him. And my dad's a little boy. He's frightened, and, he just keeps telling his mom he wants to go. And his father keeps holding up this penny. Later they go. His father just sits back down and continues with the scratching. 70 years later, what makes my dad break down crying every single time he tells this story is that he didn't take it. He didn't take the penny.
Hey, buddy, I'm so sorry to call you so late. I just wanted to let you know that this evening when I went to check on your dad, brother, I just wanted you to know that when we went to check on your dad, we found that he had passed away. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Adam.
Because of my brother, the funeral was ultra-Orthodox Jewish. Now, my father was not just an atheist. He was an atheist! Which, doesn't really make any sense, because how could you be that angry at nothing? So, at an ultra-Orthodox Jewish burial, the tradition is that family members, children, grandchildren, are supposed to shovel the dirt into the grave. My brother is there with his 6 kids. My mother, who's 4'9", is right up front. My brother's 4 boys are all shoveling dirt, more dirt. My mother's watching. More dirt. My mother is watching. More dirt. They're just about finished. Suddenly my mother calls out.
He's not getting out of there now.
No one makes a sound. It's quiet. And we all start walking away.
Goodbye, Jack.
The next day, my wife goes into labor, and it is the most terrifying time of my life, because every time she has a contraction, the monitor measuring the baby's heartbeat shoots down to nothing. The head doctor on the floor is at the door. Our doctor excuses himself for a moment, goes over to that guy, lowers his voice, but I hear him say,
"It's a very serious situation."
I get so scared. He comes back and says,
"Okay, Kyoko, you're doing great. You're doing great. We're just waiting for the next contraction. Here it comes. And... Push!
The baby's head starts to come out.
Okay, breathe. Here comes another one. Push!
He puts her down there and pulls this boy out. I see the umbilical cord is wrapped twice around his neck. He unwraps it quickly. This boy is healthy. This boy is perfect. I don't know why my father woke up for me. A number of times. The dog story, walking, sitting, singing on the toilet. He didn't do that for my sister, my mother, my brother, the nurses. He did it for me. And every time it happened, for the first time in my life, I felt like a hero. My father always had something going on with me. I don't know if it was because I was the youngest, but it was always like he would look at me and be like, it's you, and very often come to me and say, don't you know how much I love you? Don't you know how much I love you? I'd be like, I don't want to know. So last year I lost my father. And I became one. Now I know how much he loved me. Does yesterday wait for tomorrow? Does yesterday dream up tomorrow? Does yesterday speak to tomorrow? A celebration, a celebration, a celebration, a celebration, a celebration of life.
A big thank you to the Truth Podcast for sharing this story with us. Lucky Penny was written by and performed by David Deblinger and is based on a stage production originally created at Labyrinth Theater Company, directed and developed by Ben Snyder. Music was by Fred Johnson. It was produced by Jonathan Mitchell. For a full list of credits and to hear more original stories from the Truth Podcast, subscribe to this podcast. Go to truthpodcast.com and subscribe. After the break, advice from people who have experienced lockdown in all sorts of places. Stay tuned.
I'm reminded today of Bill Withers and his song, Lovely Day. Paraphrasing here, then I look outside, and the world's all right with me. Just one look outside, and I know it's going to be a lovely day. We're listening to great stories thanks to Glenn Washington and Snap Judgment. Up next at 3, it's another episode of America Amplified, Life, Community, and COVID-19. Followed at 5 by All Things Considered. You know, if you are interested in doing some multitasking, I always recommend WAMU.org while you're listening to us. A couple of good stories online today. Struggling breweries, wineries, cideries. Who knew there was a cidery in town? Get Lifeline from Direct Sales. Struggling breweries, wineries, and cideries. Get a Lifeline from Direct Sales. And another one about, with DC wearing sweatpants, dry cleaners are turning to wearing masks. Check those out at WAMU.org. In this age. So we got a little more to coming with you, Snap Judgment, coming up next. And then, like I said, at 3, it's America Amplified. Stay tuned.
Snap Judgment is supported by Progressive Insurance, offering Snapshot, a device designed to reward safe drivers. Learn more at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. Now that's Progressive.
From Snap's underground quarantine lair, welcome back to Snap Judgment, the stretched episode. My name is Glenn Washington, and for the past few weeks, Team Snap has met with all kinds of people from all over the world to ask how they made it through various types of lockdown. And we're proud to present our 5th installment of Letters from Lockdown. And there's probably no one better to talk about being alone than Father Pix. Father Pix, he's a Catholic priest from the Philippines. And every year, he spends 1 to 5 months alone in seclusion, meditating, praying, writing. But his first experience with real solitude was not on a retreat. It happened in a place called the Dragon Room.
My name is Father Amado Picardal. My friends call me Father Pix. I am from southern Philippines. I'm 65 years old. I've been a priest for the last 39 years. In the early 1970s, I was involved in student activism. I was picked up by intelligence operatives. It was an interrogation room, but they call it a dragon room. It's a very small space, just 2 by 2, meters, that's all, It was dark, it was very cold. I couldn't even know whether it's night or day. What do I do? It's a question of what do I do with my time? First, I have to be present, even just focusing on one's breathing, because the breathing keeps you calm. And then, let the mind wander. Because the mind is like a monkey, it can, it goes here and there. Just let it be, And, it can be helpful sometimes if you want to escape the present where you are to go into the past. I thought about first cake, also something sweet. Ice cream, especially the mango ice cream, which was my favorite at that time. Think of the mountain or think of the sea or, think of people, the people that I cared for, who cared for me, And of course, there was one particular girl that I was deeply in love with. Her name was Cynthia. Of course, she was very intelligent and she was very creative. I remember that she played the piano well, Of course, I also played the piano. Sometimes I would go to her house and I just played the piano. One of the pieces that I love to play was The Way We Were. That is the theme of the movie, with Barbara Streisand and Robert Redford, Memories like the corners of my mind. The corners of my mind. Memory is very important, That the mind is able to transcend space, to go beyond the present, go back to the past and go to the future.
Thank you, Father Pix, and thank you, Barbara. Up next, we have Noah and Freya, who met in a refugee camp in Greece. They fell in love and wanted to start a new life together, but soon discovered things were not going to be that easy.
My name's Freya.
My name's Noah.
And we are
an English and Syrian couple.